This week on 3D Printed Soup, what do you do when that print just won't adhere to your print bed? You take the first results of Google, that's what you do. At least that's what I thought I'd do this week. I can't see this going wrong. That's right after this. Hello fellow makers and welcome back to 3D Printed Soup. Now, when you get a problem with your printer, the first thing that I tend to do is I'll go along to a forum or I'll check out one of the groups that I'm a member of on Discord and all over the place, and Facebook, etc. because I'm old and I still use Facebook sometimes. But a lot of people, if it's their first printer or they haven't had a problem like this before, they do sometimes go to Google and just type in print won't adhere or printer does so and so. And then you get a whole list of articles and videos and just a load of stuff randomly put together by an algorithm that tells you, hey, we looked at the words you've typed into the little space on the screen and this is what we've come up with. And yeah, sometimes you get some great answers and sometimes you get a load of baloney. So I thought, what I'll do, my printer at the moment, my new SL Sun QQS, I started to print with it and the print stopped adhering to the glass bed. And I know how I'd usually fix it, but I thought, hey, if I didn't know how to fix this, what would Google do? So this week, I am going to basically do exactly what Google tells me to do to try and fix a standard my print won't adhere to the print bed problem. Before I do, however, thanks to everyone who's liked and subscribed, loads more of you. If you haven't, drag your cursor down, click the subscribe button. If it doesn't adhere, click it again until it says, hey, you've subscribed, and click the bell to make sure those prints stay nice and stuck to your print bed. Because everyone likes a sticky bed. Is that wrong? I don't know. Anywho, let's get on and see what Google tells me to do. So after searching FL Sun QQS prints not adhering, I got a result that told me what you need to do is you need to slow the print down and you need to basically have a slightly cooler hot end, because it could be that the print isn't adhering because the filament is too hot and the print head is moving too fast, so it's yanking it off before it has time to cool. That sounds like a smart idea. So let's give that a try and see what happens. Well, that didn't work. The print started and then just pulled straight off the print bed because, yeah, I'm not sure why. Well, I'm pretty sure why, but slowing the print head down and decreasing the heat on the hot bed may have actually worked though, because yeah, sometimes that is a serious problem. If your print isn't having time to cool, it won't adhere and it'll just rip the layers straight off the print bed, or if it's got past the first stage, it will start pulling the print off of the other layers and then you end up with stringing and an absolute spaghetti mess. So good tip, didn't work in this particular case, but hey, it might work in your case. The next one I found said, hey, why not try and use supports? Perhaps you're not getting enough contact on your bed and so you might need to use some kind of support material. So I thought, hey, if I didn't know what I was doing, I would probably use auto-generated supports. So I clicked on the auto-generated supports and I chose your usual honeycomb regular supports anywhere over 45 degrees and started printing the same model again. Let's see what happened. That didn't work particularly well either. I got the supports here and yeah, came straight off and the print started printing, but it was a mess. The layer lines everywhere because this thing was shifting left and right all over the place. Bit of a mess, and no, that did not fix my problem. However, if everything else is correct, that may very well have also been a very good piece of advice. Supports are great if you've got a complicated print to do, or if the print doesn't have a lot of contact points on your hotbed. If you can use some very well done supports, and I'd recommend actually doing the supports yourself, go into the manual supports and draw them on yourself. The general one's okay, but yeah, it works better if you spend the time on Cura, just find the bits which are overhanging and create supports straight from those, and then you should have a good time. This didn't work in my case, but yeah, that's also a good tip. So second tip, good tip from Google, but yeah, didn't fix my problem, but yeah, that's not bad. The next tip I saw took that to the next level. Said, hey, why not use supports? And also, why not use a raft? Now, a raft basically it prints almost like a flat pad onto your hotbed first, adheres that, and then prints the thing that you're trying to print on top of that. So you've got a nice flat surface for it to print straight onto and adhere in one nice big lump. So because you can imagine, if you've got a bigger surface, then there's a lot more for it to adhere to. So yeah, I thought, okay, I put the raft settings on to Cura and dropped my model onto that, and I get press print to see if that worked. Nope, that didn't work either. The raft printed out nicely, but then when it started printing the rest of the model, it just slipped again. So yeah, I really do know what the problem is here, and luckily the next tip was much better for my particular issue. So the next thing on Google was actually the FL Sun support page itself, which is great because I could jump straight onto there and it told me several specialist things which the FL Sun QQS basically has that other printers don't. It's a Delta printer, so it has very different needs to that of a Cartesian printer. And yay, they actually gave me some really good advice. First of all, they said, lube all of the nuts and bolts that attach the arms to the print head and to the printer. Fantastic idea. I lubed them when I first got it, but it's been about a couple of weeks now, so yeah, really definitely time to put some more grease on those. So I re-greased those. It said tighten all the nuts and bolts as well, so I got the Allen key that came with my printer, tightened all of those up as well, and yeah, that seemed like a really good idea. So tighten it all up and hit print. And once again, although the printer sounded a lot better, a lot less rattling, it still slipped off the print bed. And I think anyone there basically who knows how 3D printers work and how printing goes ahead, you'll know pretty much what the problem is here. But for those of you who don't, this next tip was the tip that fixed it. And that was, get your bed leveled and get the distance between the hot end and your hotbed exactly right. You need to get it as close as you can without choking off the supply of filament. How do you do this? Well, on this particular printer, you do auto home, you do auto level, and once it's auto leveled, you then adjust the Z-axis with a bit of paper underneath it so that you can slide a bit of paper just between the hotbed and the nozzle. If you can manage to slide it between the two and just have a little bit of resistance, that's pretty much the sweet spot. Adjusting your Z-axis when your printer's slipping is a really good way to stop that happening. Also make sure your bed is level, but the auto level on the QQS is a very good one. So yeah, once you've auto leveled and you've adjusted the Z to make sure the paper slips in and out underneath it without getting too caught up, but being just touching both, you should be absolutely fine. Now that I've done that, let's see if that tip has finally fixed the problem of the printer adhesion. Let's give this a try. And yes, finally, the print has come out and it is actually been fixed. This printed well, it printed straight off, popped straight off, and there were no issues. So yeah, lots and lots of good tips there on Google. I mean, everything from a raft, which is a bit overkill, but when you're just starting a raft can be really useful until you've learned the basics. Support material, also very useful. If you haven't got much contact with the hotbed, support material is really useful. Auto generate when you first start, but if you can, move straight on to doing manual supports. That way you get exactly the support you need where you need it. And yeah, there's loads and loads of videos on YouTube which will tell you exactly where to put supports and how to generate supports. I don't think I need to do one myself as that's been covered to death. But yeah, the best bit of advice is get your hot end and your bed as close as possible, so you're not getting stringing where it's basically too far away, and you're not getting it choked off where basically the PLA can't push through because it's jammed onto the bed. You get a nice tiny gap between the two and you should be sound as a pound. The only other thing that somebody told me to do was use glue stick. Cover your hotbed with glue stick to help it adhere. Now, I haven't used glue stick in years. Glue stick was what I started out using when I first started printing because I found it helped it stick. If you can get the distance right between your hotbed and your nozzle, you're not going to need to cover your thing with glue stick. Glue stick's expensive, it's messy, and no, it's rubbish. I hate it. But hey, if there's nothing else you can do, glue stick will work. But yeah, it's a mess and you end up with it everywhere and you have to clean your thing with alcohol every time you've used it. Get the bed levelled, get the distance right, and you don't have to use glue stick. Well, today was very, very interesting, and it's nice to see that the community out there has got so many tips and hints they're happy to share on Google, on all these different forums and different posts on YouTube and on Facebook, etc., and all over the place. Even on TikTok I found. God, I'm too old to understand TikTok, but hey, it seems not bad, although I'd be very, very careful of advice on TikTok. There are some very, very odd ones. Other than that, I love the 3D printing community. Everyone's out there to help you. And yeah, if you've got any questions, feel free to chuck them in the comments below. I really enjoyed making this video. And yeah, it's nice to actually do something constructive instead of printing little plastic widgets. Although next week I'm back to printing plastic widgets. Hooray! Thanks for watching 3D Printed Soup. Stay happy, stay safe, keep printing.